Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We are broadcasting live from the beautiful, luxurious KFAB studios high above Underwood Avenue in downtown Dundee. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics. Thank you to those companies for making all of this possible. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker and one of those guys in town who's so well known that you can just refer to him by his first name and everyone knows who you're talking about, Trenton.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Jeff.
Well, good morning. Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, I think it was a good rain after all the smoke and fires and fireworks. And you and I have a common friend who had to have the fire, I think it was in Wahoo or somewhere, had to have the fire department come out and put it out.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm sure you don't want to necessarily say the name.
I think we're good on that one. But
someone we know,
careful out there.
Someone we know started a fire because of fireworks.
Yeah, he used to sponsor the show, and he showed a video of it looked like Grucci Brothers had come to his field.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go look this up
and
after
put this
the show.
up. So today's usually the day we hear about somebody that went to the emergency room and lost a few fingers or something like that. So let's take care of each other and let's be smart.
Well, it's too late, apparently. But with that, though, I want to bring on Brad Williams. Brad is a frequent contributor to Grow Omaha, official photographer of Grow Omaha, owner of Brad Williams Photography, and part of E&A Consulting, civil engineering firm. Brad, good morning.
Hey, good morning. You know, I've been doing this show since 2010, and I still never know what to expect from Trenton right before you introduce me. The stories are all over the map.
Keep them thinking, ladies and gentlemen.
Brad, I've known him since 7th grade, and I'm never entirely sure what to expect out of Trenton's mouth when he starts
Sometimes
talking.
I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Well, Brad is here for a lot of different reasons, but the reason this week is it's our call-in show. So if you have any questions about what's happening in town, we always like to say that, okay, you're driving around town and you see a construction project at whatever street. Well, you call us, and the number is 402-558-1110, 402-558-1110. We do this about every 2 to 3 months. We have one of our call-in shows, and it is one of those days. But before we get to that, we have a couple of other regularly scheduled agenda items. The first one is a Grow Omaha Eats restaurant review by Chris Corey. Chris writes a review every other week, and all of our Chris Corey Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews are brought to you by Allmakes, the legendary office equipment and office furniture store, 25th and Farnham. Also have locations in nearby Lincoln and Des Moines, Iowa. But Allmakes is where you want to go to outfit your office. And perhaps, you're thinking, I want to freshen this place up a little bit, make it a little bit more efficient. Just get a hold of Allmakes, and they will take good care of you.
They do home office as well as big office buildings.
Well, this week, Chris reviews the Orleans Room in the Blackstone. And Trenton, why is the Orleans Room famous?
The Orleans Room is famous because, they serve probably the best Reuben sandwich in the world, and the first Reuben sandwich was made at the Blackstone Hotel, which is now the Cottonwood Hotel.
And who owned the Blackstone Hotel at the time the Reuben sandwich was invented?
My great-grandfather, Charles Schimmel.
So if you ever want to have Trenton over for lunch and you want to serve a Reuben, it better be a good one, because this guy is a direct descendant of one of the 2 or 3 people that were involved in the inventing of the Reuben.
Yeah, I'm a Reuben sandwich snob, and so you're better off inviting me to the Orleans Room at the.
You're not a connoisseur;
Cottonwood.
you're a Reuben-asseur.
Yeah, I'm a Reuben.
You're a Reuben.
So a lot of people claim it.
You're a Reuben-asseur.
There's actually a couple that moved back to Omaha, and it's called Finding Reuben. You can find it online. I think they're raising money for that effort, but it's going to be a whole thing about finding Reuben, because there are a couple posers in New York and
Frauds.
Los Angeles. Yeah, they're fraudsters, and but we have We have it all documented.
So the headline of Chris's review is The Orleans Room is a timeless echo of elegance, and you can find it by going to growomaha.com, clicking on reviews on the navigation bar, and all of our Grow Omaha Eats restaurant reviews are on there. Well, gentlemen, let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. They are the company you call if you are thinking about buying a house, because you got to get a loan if you're like most people. And Eagle Mortgage will take very good care of you. They are not a bank. They shop banks. They are a considerer of banks on your behalf. And they do such a good job with it. Doesn't matter whether you're going to go conventional, VHA, FHA, one of the specialty loans. Eagle Mortgage will take care of you. You can find Eagle Mortgage in person at 114th and Davenport, or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. All right, guys, looking at the news of the week, our first story is a major activity center, new building construction for Millard Public Schools. It's being sponsored, funded by the Millard Public Schools Foundation. It's a privately funded thing in its entirety. It's going to be 85,000 square feet on 40 acres. It'll be right next to Keith Lutz Horizon High School. The exact address of that high school is 5300 George B. Lake Parkway. Most people have no idea where that is, though. So that would be, call it, say, 3 or 4 blocks west of 204th, south of Q Street. But this will be a real nice addition to that district. And my guess is a lot of youth sports tournaments and public events and the like will be held there.
You probably want me to talk about the 1 acre lot I have with an already designed building at 204th and Q that could be a drive-through or any kind of office building or retail. Give Trenton Maggot a call.
Brad, do you have a lot listed next to Keith Lutz Horizon High School?
No, but if you have a lot, call me and I'll lay it out for you.
That's a good I like the way you handled that.
Brad does an amazing job of, what would you call that, site planning?
What is it you would say you would do there?
Do a lot of the preliminary work, do the due diligence, and
He's really helped me out and my clients.
lay out sites for people.
That's E&A Consulting. Jason Thielen is the man who runs that organization, and his partner and shareholder and board member we get to hang out with a lot of Saturdays.
Lanahaw Real Estate Company has signed an agreement with Marriott International to develop a 160-room boutique hotel under the Marriott Bonvoy's Autograph Collection brand. This would be slated to open in 2027. The hotel will be part of The Row, a mixed-use lifestyle center that'll kind of serve as the downtown of the Heartwood Preserve development. Heartwood Preserve is the 500-acre project that is southwest of 144th and West Dodge Road. Autograph Collection are nice hotels. This will be a nice addition.
The Farnham is Autograph, isn't it?
I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is.
That's a beautiful hotel, and I think this is really a great location for it. We've got a lot of limited service stuff out west, and this will be more full service, which is needed.
Brad, Heartwood Preserve, we've seen a lot there with some office buildings. There's a 550-unit apartment structure under construction, but there's still a lot of land to be developed at Heartwood Preserve.
Yeah, there's more of the what I call like the entertainment area is just getting ready to take off, and saw a little preview of that. You know, this winter they had the skating rink out there and some other activities, so it'd be nice to see more of a week-long, day-long use there.
A company called Spruce Development, I believe, is building a bunch of detached apartments, if you will, on South 144th Street. So along 144th, south of Applied Underwriters, just like they're doing on the northwest corner of 204th and West Center Road. And it's beautiful. It'll be beautiful.
We got some visible progress at Epley Airfield. You know, there's a nearly $1 billion expansion and renovation of the terminal underway. And the very visible progress is exterior glass has now gone on the outside of that. You can't really see it, though, unless you're out in one of the planes because it's on the east side of the terminal. But that is coming along nicely. This project won't be 100% done until 2028. Nevertheless, the speed at which they are attacking this project is impressive. It is moving quickly.
You know, one of the things I really like about Epley with this project is, you know, it's not a project that you can just drive by and check out. But Epley's done a really good job of posting pictures on their social medias all the time. You know, since the first construction started all the way up, you know, they kind of took a little break during the College World Series, and then as soon as it was over, they started with the glass pictures.
And well, they have human wayfinders inside as you're going and telling you where to go. I thought that was pretty. In addition to signs, they have people asking you if you need help.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And so if you're ever traveling or picking up someone and you go inside the terminal, there's little places here and there where you can peek and see what they're working on, but a lot of it's just not visible because the terminal is just under full construction.
And they work a lot at night as well. If you ever get in late, or you can walk by these guys with hard hats working.
Got a mixed-use development planned for the North 24th Street corridor. The City Council this week approved applications for rezoning and designating an area of civic importance for several vacant lots on the northeast corner of 24th and Laird Street. The development will include row houses and a mixed-use building with apartments built on top of a food court, a corner bank location, and 4 additional ground floor spaces. That in addition to North End Teleservices planned project at 24th and Lake. Good signs for momentum on that corridor. And then we have news near the Metropolitan Community College South Omaha campus. A developer plans to turn 5 vacant lots across the street from Metro's South Omaha campus into an apartment building. It would be located right along Q Street. This would be a $25 million project called Q Metro. It's a 5-story mixed-use building with 72 market-rate apartments ranging from studio to 3-bedroom units. The ground floor will have 18,000 square feet of commercial space. Construction will begin in March and conclude by August of 2027.
That is an expensive project given the number of units, but with the retail and all that, hopefully it makes sense.
And then, guys, we've got a good sign of progress on a very large apartment project that has been under construction for some time. It is the Arthur, which is a 329-unit apartment building under development at 4647 Dodge. So this is that huge building when you're driving by Dodge that is right up against the street. It is the one that also incorporated the historic Pittman Veterinary Clinic, which will serve as the property's leasing agent. But leasing office, I should say. But leasing is underway there and looks like the whole project should be done in September. So it's really
impressive.
Yeah, they were taking down the construction fence along Dodge Street the other day, so you can finally starting to get a good view of it.
And I noticed you can actually drive in that right lane on Dodge Street, because for a long time that was closed for construction, narrowing Dodge eastbound to just one lane. So that'll make a big, big difference in that area. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, EagleMortgageCompany.com. This is the call-in show. We've got one caller in the queue right now, Dave. So, Dave, stay with us. The rest of you, we have room for you, and we want to hear from you. The phone number is 402-558-1110, 402-558-1110. Call us with any questions you have. And before we go, Brad, you had something?
Oh, I say, don't wait till the end of the show. We always get a lot of calls at the end, and we have to rush. So call now while we have open lines.
I know, that is so true. We don't want that to happen and get you aced out. So call now, 402-558-1110. Dave, stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha. Brad Williams, Trenton Magid, Jeff Beals, we're all here. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals, Trenton Magid at your service. We are joined by our good friend Brad Williams of Brad Williams Photography and E&A Consulting. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Cheer Athletics is the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym, and all-star cheer is becoming a big-time competitive sport for kids and professionals. It'll be in the Olympics in 2028. And if you want to get involved in that, Omaha's Cheer Athletics, one of only 15 in the world, is located in Papillion, just a little bit southwest of Highways 50 and 370. Okay, it's the call-in show, 402-558-1110. Call in with any questions that you have about Omaha growth and development. A lot of times it's a situation where you're driving down the street and you think to yourself, I wonder what that is. What are they building there? Or why hasn't this happened? Or why hasn't that happened? It's all fair game if it relates to Omaha growth and development. And Brad and Trenton and I will do our best to answer your question. Dave has been waiting very patiently. Good morning, Dave, and welcome to Grow Omaha.
Good morning, gentlemen. I've got a question. The parcel of land northwest corner, 90th and Center, what's the status of that?
Okay, so we all went to breakfast this morning, and we said, we haven't heard this question for a long time. And so it was very apropos. It's the Schlossberg family that bought that and tore all that down a long time ago. And it's interesting that they leave it vacant. They have the shopping center to the east. They're very capable. And for whatever reason, they're huge departments in probably 10 or 15 states. We don't know why they leave it vacant. I mean, it's an interesting corner when it comes to retail because it's not really a full intersection since 90th Street wraps around Frederick Street and then to 84th Street. So I just don't know. I don't know if there's demand. You'd think that they would do some apartments there and then do some strips or something like that. But it is a question that is on a lot of people's mind. You guys have any other?
A lot of it is, or at least last time I looked, was in the floodplain. I don't know if when the new maps came out recently, if they've taken it out of the floodplain, but so they would have to bring in some dirt and raise it up, and you can only raise so much. So there would be some work involved. They couldn't just build on the land that's currently there.
But it's probably been 15 to 20 years, hasn't it?
I missed the Burger King that was there because back when I went
VIP
to Westside High School, that was a hangout area for us as Westside students.
I miss House of Pies.
I miss, wasn't there some other dessert place
Games,
there?
Well, there was like...
Computer Games was there forever.
Yeah, the Putt-Putt was great. The Cool Putt, they'll give you a brain freeze.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
And there used to be a gas station on that corner.
Yeah, that was one of the Anderson Amicos.
Yeah.
That was the place your dad always referred to as the Standard Station.
Yeah, the filling station, the Standard Station.
The Standard Filling Station.
But Warren Anderson owned that one, and he had this cool light blue Mercedes, long Mercedes. I remember that he'd always park there.
By the way, Dave, Brad, and Trenton, that area also is in the news a little bit because the VIP Lounge is in the process of moving over to 84th and Frederick into the former Gata's restaurant space. And so the VIP, after many, many decades, will not be in the 90th and Center area.
My guess is a lot of those customers are just going to stay. If there's a new bar there, there's some rumors that there will be a new bar there that their cars are on autopilot and they will just go there.
See, kind of like a horse trained to go back to the stables. All right, Dave, we appreciate the call. Thanks for being so patient with us this morning and being our first caller. Okay, we now go to Sherry. Sherry has a question, and you are on Grow Omaha. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your question?
We live out on Bennington Road, and there is a bunch of dirt work going on east of Blair High to 108th, and it runs from Greenwood up to Bennington Road. And I wondered if any of you know what that's going to be.
That's an industrial park, right, Brad?
Yeah, large industrial park.
Is that McGill Industrial Park?
Sure is. So they were going to be over where Google was, and then that whole Google thing came together. So then now they're going to be on the east side of the highway there. It'd be their shop and headquarters, and then the rest of it will be lots for sale that other businesses could purchase.
Isn't Calabretto Building Company building something up there?
I believe it's part of it too, yeah.
And it's amazing how the Blair High Road corridor has turned into a lot of industrial data centers and things like that. We thought that everybody would want to be between Omaha and Lincoln along the interstate and everything, but in their own right, It's not too far from the interstate, and you'll get some more tax dollars up there.
Well, and that whole corridor is just, under construction because you got this McGill thing. You've got what we already mentioned, the massive Google campus, which we understand is going to get bigger and bigger. And then south of that McGill, a year ago, there was a lot of grading for what I believe is industrial ground.
Yeah, well, MUD's building that big complex just south of State Street there.
Yeah, and that's the one that is like right when you are going northwest from 680 off to your right side, because a lot of people have asked about that, but that's MUD. So there's 4 huge construction projects just in that stretch.
And you're not seeing as much retail and services. Do you feel like you have enough of those services in your neighborhood?
Well, my son is wondering if they're ever going to put a gas station between here and Blair.
Well, we have a lot of listeners that have gas stations. I think a nice Amico.
Anderson Convenience Market?
Yeah, absolutely. They'd be perfect. I'll talk to Ray.
One time, Fantasies was looking at land up there, but then he passed away.
At Cherry Hills, I did some of the initial work on that, and there's that one lot on the business park side that a lot, and whatever reason, it never happened. Fantasies was going to do a retail building there and a gas station, and I think they changed the entrance somehow that it became less attractive.
Well, there's a bunch of apartments going in there now on that northwest corner. So
yeah, that's all going to be residential. There's no commercial or retail or office. It's
okay.
Somebody
apartment. Will probably think it's a good idea sometime.
Yep.
Yep. We appreciate the call.
Thanks, Sherry. Okay. Appreciate it. Happy 4th of July. All right, we're going to take our middle of the show break for the news, but when we come back, we have time for another couple phone calls, and the number is 402-558-1110, 402-558-1110. Ask us anything about Omaha growth and development. Give us a call during the break, and we will answer your question when we come back. We've got Brad Williams here, Trenton Magid. I'm Jeff Beals. We're brought to you by Cheer Athletics, along with Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB. Oh, Rosie, you don't know what you're talking about. I think about those guys all the time because I'm technically related to one of them. At any rate, welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals at your service. We are also joined by Trenton Bradley Magid and Brad Williams. What's your middle name, Brad?
Jeremy.
Brad Jeremy Williams. And the show's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Dingman's has 4 metro area locations. Take very good care of your car. If you get in a fender bender, door dings, scratches, scrapes, whatever, they'll take good care of you. Dingman's Collision Center. Before we take our calls, and there are 3 people waiting, so stay with us, guys. Before we take those calls, it is our Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, which is brought to you by Noddle Companies. During this segment, we like to feature one Noddle Companies project, and we talk about things going on in it, near it, around it. And Noddle Companies is, well, first of all, we're very grateful to have them as a sponsor. And Noddle Companies does such a good job. They've got projects all over the country, but we really care about the ones they have here. Exarban Village, Builders District downtown, so many others. And today we talk about Gretna. Noddle Companies is teaming up with Nebraska Medicine to build a 3-story, 125,000 square foot health center in Gretna Landing. That is the cool mixed-use development northwest of 192nd and 370. This Nebraska Medicine Health Center will be open in the second half of 2027. But that Gretna Landing area, very, very cool. In fact, there's a groundbreaking coming up for a new credit union that's going to be built in that area. And that is your Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. You can find out more by going to noddlecompanies.com. All right, Pat, you have been waiting patiently, and you are our next caller. Good morning, Pat.
Yeah, good morning. 13th and Leavenworth and 13th and Jones.
You wondering what's going on there?
I understand there's been quite a bit of money spent so far.
Yeah, you're probably referring to the urban park that is under construction on the east side of 13th between Leavenworth and Jones. Brad, do you want to give a few details about it?
I think the newest thing I read recently was it Lawrence and Gardens is now involved in it, right?
I think I did hear something about that. Yeah.
That'll be beautiful.
So this is the park that they're incorporating the small historic building right along Jones, which was once part of a beer brewing operation. But there's going to be a little outdoor seating area, a small part of it for kids' play equipment. I think there's a rain garden that's going to be part of it. It's basically an urban pocket park, but it's not a City of Omaha thing. It's my understanding it's private. Yeah. But anyway,
but it's open to the public, right?
Yeah, that'll be open to the public. But that's what's going into that area, Pat. All right.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks for calling and thanks for the question. And we now go, we actually have two guys named Mike. And so the first Mike is calling about 120th and Military. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen. There's been a billboard or a placard up on that site for, goodness, seems like a year now about a mixed-use development, but I see no progress, and I'm wondering what you know about it.
Silence, apparently.
Yeah, we're all three of us. Mike, you should see what it looks like in the studio. All three of us looking at each other with what the.
It's often times where developers will put up a sign. Usually they own the land. Sometimes they just have it under contract and are out there marketing and seeing if they can catch something for like a build to suit or selling some pad sites and things like that. We haven't heard a lot of activity in that area yet, but we'll look it up.
Yeah, and sometimes back in the day, we used to join Gary Saddlemeyer and Jim Rose on the KFAB morning show, and they used to have a segment called Stump the Boys because we were known as the Go Boys, the Grow Omaha Boys. You stumped the boys a little bit there, Mike. So thanks for making us look dumb, but we appreciate you.
Well, we'll double check. I don't.
It
remember
might be
seeing
nothing going on there.
Yeah, but we can check back in the planning board records and see if there was anything that we missed.
To be continued. Thanks, Mike. We do
Thanks for
appreciate the
listening.
call. All right, now we go to Mike number 2, who has a question about a completely different part of town. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
On the corner of 120th and L, there's supposed to be a Burger King or Burger Detour going in. They did some work on the site. They've got some plumbing in and foundation. And they haven't done nothing for a long time. And now I seen there's a sign up that says for sale or lease.
Yes, and that's a friend of ours that has that on the market. And that's one of 3 sites that the owner of Burger Detour, he owned a large chain of bars and I think got a lot of money for it and decided that he wanted to be the In-N-Out Burger of Omaha and just went all in basically on 3 locations, paid a lot of money for them. 2 of them are open, like 183rd and West Maple Road, and then 204th and Pacific Street. Those are operating units, but they're also for sale or lease. They haven't. My understanding is those 2 are still operating for business until something else happens. Going back to L Street, that's a bigger parcel, which he paid a lot of money for. And over the years, since he's owned it the last few years, it was going to be Burger Detour. They try to do a coffee pad site like everywhere else, and then maybe a car wash or a mechanic shop or something like that. But nothing's happening on that right now, and it's for sale. So call me if you need that for your portfolio.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, we appreciate you calling and joining us with that question. That corner, something's going to go there. I mean, it's a great corner.
It's not the best access, but it's visible. It's kind of what we call a Statue of Liberty, where you can see it. It's just hard to get to.
But but there are worse statues of Liberty out there.
Yes,
and
you need the Long Island Ferry just to get there.
Yeah, the Long Island Ferry to get there. And before we go for the break, though, we did have one caller, Amanda, who did not want to go on air. She dropped off after she called in, but she wants to get an update on the latest on the Crossroads development. We get a Crossroads call every single time we do one of these. And so, fellas, with the Crossroads, we just had the official groundbreaking a couple weeks ago for Gamescape by Cinemark, about 100,000 square feet indoor entertainment center, which will include a theater cinema concept. It is full bore ahead, and we'll probably start to see dirt moving for that project before the end of the summer. And then along with it, there'll be the first underground parking garage and a couple other mixed-use buildings in that area. Anything else to add?
I'm interested to see when they're going to tear down the existing parking garage that they built a long time ago for was it Yonkers?
Yeah.
And, that's Dillard's. Well,
yeah, Dillard's. Yeah,
Dillard's. Okay, so that's.
But
gonna
it
be an
also was
expensive takedown.
connected to Yonkers as well. Yeah.
So I think that'll be very interesting. It'll be interesting to see the new rebranding of that corner. Every time I go by that corner, like this morning, I look at the new library and I say that's very unique and interesting. But are they going to put like spike strips or something on those window ledges? It's going to be perfect for birds.
I think it's too smooth and shiny for pigeons. All right, we got one last question we're going to slam in, guys. Tim just called with something about 168th and State. Good morning, Tim. You're on the air.
Yes, northeast corner, 168th and State. Looks like could be a possible fast food or something like that.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of a McDonald's that's under construction.
Burgers or Ronald's.
It's maybe one and a half blocks east of 168th.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a McDonald's, but there'll be several other things planned in that area. But that's going to be the first one.
I'd say there's a lot of residential getting ready to go, and there's also the NRD's building another dam site up in there too.
Yeah, that area is going to have explosive suburban growth for the next several years. It's just that it's the next in line where all the houses are going to be built, and where you build houses, you see McDonald's.
And there's a lot of people in that same area looking at 156th Street right now because that's kind of the corridor to Bennington. So there's a lot of activity going on there too.
And we appreciate the call, Tim. Thank you so much. And with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. And you know what that means. When we come back, we're going to have our Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics, Dingman's Collision Center, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals here with Trenton Magid and Brad Williams. It is time for your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things really fast. Thank you to Perkins Kreitzer Construction for making this possible. They are a Class A general contractor under the steady leadership of one Dave Kreitzer, our good friend, and an outstanding construction man who is surrounded with a team of outstanding construction professionals, many of whom have been in the business for well over 30 years. And they will bring their experience, their knowledge, their expertise, and their caring attitude to your project. So if you're looking to build, whether it's interior build out in an existing building or built from the ground up structures, they do it all throughout eastern Nebraska and western Iowa. Perkins Kreitzer Construction is definitely easy to find. You just go to p-cconstruction.com. That's p-cconstruction.com. All right, guys, interior build-out is underway at Trax Lounge West, the second location near 180th and Q Street, featuring custom millwork, pendant lighting, and racing-themed mural inside. It's going to be very, very nice. Getting close. The exterior updates have a new patio with horse silhouettes on the fence, really keeping up that racing theme for the original one that was located next to the former Exarban racetrack. Cannot wait. I must confess, I am a huge fried chicken fan.
Yeah, I can't wait to try their custom millwork. I heard it's delicious.
Church's Texas Chicken is building a second metro location at 2310 North 90th Street on the site where a Godfather's Pizza restaurant was demolished not too terribly long ago. The building is now fully enclosed, but they're still doing quite a bit of interior work. When it opens later this year, the restaurant will operate in this 1,700 square foot building. And the Church's does have one Omaha existing location near 168th and Maple. Dave's Cakes of Omaha has expanded into the adjacent bay at 142nd and U Street in Millard, just off Millard Avenue. The space is formerly home to the local Makers Collective. The original bakery, though, has been right next door since 2022. I've not tried this Dave's Cakes, but people rave about it. Apparently, it's really good.
There's a lot of cake concepts out there. A lot of people that do custom decorations out of their home and A lot of sweets out there.
I'm sure it all tastes delicious. The Wandering Page is a new bookstore and coffee shop that opened recently, June 30th, at 3925 Farnham Street in the Blackstone District. It is right next door to Coneflower Creamery, and it's called a literary cafe. So you can read and have your coffee. It serves pastries from the Grand Patisserie, and the coffee comes just across the street from Archetype Coffee. Oh, wait, that might be a mistake. The news I'm reading says it is near Coneflower Creamery and Archetype Coffee.
Correct.
So not necessarily serving Archetype
I think it's owned by a
Coffee.
girl named Paige, and she just wanders around from table to table, seeing how everybody's doing.
I don't think so. The Reading Room will open its doors on July 7th at 1505 Farnham Street in the former Omaha Lounge space downtown. And it is very similar to the business I was just talking about, but it will have a bar as well. So the Reading Room, full bar, coffee, tea, small food items. And actually, after it was the Omaha Lounge, for a short while, it was Pedigo Bikes, a bike rental place.
Pedigo.
Pedigo? Okay.
Like ped.
Pedal and go? Okay. Never
I have
thought
no
of it.
idea. I just thought I'd know.
We'll go with it. Okay. Ollie's Bargain Outlet opened its first Nebraska location this week at 6516 North 73rd Plaza. It is in a former Big Lots store. That area is called Sorensen Park Plaza, so just southwest of 72nd and Sorensen Parkway. Ollie's is a retailer of closeout merchandise and excess inventory. This place has more than 574 locations, but that's the first one in Nebraska.
Interesting.
And people were excited when they heard it was coming. People that have been to them in other states.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it puts Tuesday morning to shame.
And I got to confess, I had never even heard of the place. And I thought I was up on these national brands, but they are now open and operating here.
It's called, the subheading is pre-garage sale items.
The owner of the local bakery called Le Petit Paris has launched a new concept called Omaha Sourdough Company. They ship sourdough bread on a monthly subscription basis to 18 different states. And if that's not enough, the owner of the Cordial Cherry now has a subscription business. She ships to all 48 lower states. And their deal is you can pay a monthly subscription and get probiotic wellness dark chocolate bites. And the Cordial Cherry, if you don't want to have them shipped, if you live here in Omaha, you can just go to the Cordial Cherry, which is in the Shops of Legacy.
They have weird hours.
168th and Center.
I've met her at Legacy, 168th and Center.
So
very nice lady.
Just because you've met her, she has weird hours?
She had to change the hours after she met me, and the restraining order has run out, so I can go back. But it is a beautiful place, unbelievably detailed characters and stuff like that.
With that, we're out of time. Brad Williams, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I always enjoy it.
Brad Williams Photography and ENA Consulting. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Maggot.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, along with Cheer Athletics and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. See you next week at 9 on News Radio 1110 KFAB. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.